Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. It is Friday, October 16th. I'm here with one of my favorite actors on the planet, Marvel. You've got a new TV show that premieres, I believe, today.
It is today, yes.
It's called Helstrom. It's on Hulu. It's based on the Marvel comic books, characters, and series, and you play the mom. And I'm so excited to watch it.
Excellent. Yes, I would recommend watch it at night after the sun has gone down.
Oh, it's that kind of show.
It's that kind of show. Yes.
Tell me about, did they come to you for this, or was this like a traditional, you got a script and you went into audition?
Well, a little bit of both. You know, I think basically they brought me out to read for the Marvel people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you know, it was basically, as long as I didn't screw it up, the part was mine. But yeah, I still had to get in the room and do the dance.
Yeah. Did you, like, what's your, like, comic book sci-fi, like, background? Did you know any of this, or are you new?
I totally did, because I have a 14-year-old son who started reading comics when he learned to read. Basically. And so he was so psyched. So I've been sort of reading them over his shoulder, you know, manga, Marvel comics, DC comics, for years, all, you know, to vet them as a parent, but also because they're awesome.
Yeah.
So I knew a fair amount, but this whole, it's the Son of Satan universe, is the Helstrom universe, FYI. So he sort of tuned me into like how it connects to Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider. And, you know, I got the full like holistic family tree of, of this world. And the really cool thing about this particular world of Marvel is that it's horror, and that is a genre that I love.
I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that you're a horror geek.
I am a massive, I think, you know, I wonder, because I'm a Quaker, and I wonder if it's like Quaker backlash that like trying to live in a pacifistic manner makes me enjoy all of this horror. I don't know, but also I think some of the most, like Ari Aster, his films are, to me, the greatest films that are happening in America. I just find his work amazing. And I feel, as an actor, when you have something like The Exorcist or like The Shining or Rosemary's Baby, these films that have fantastic actors, the stakes that they're asked to play and the world that they're asked to play in it's very similar to playing Shakespeare or playing a Greek tragedy. And, you know, as an actor, that's just fantastic. But you live and die on that sword. Like, you either pull it off or you don't.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of awesome.
And I imagine it's like Shakespeare, like Greek tragedy or something, because the stakes are always so high.
Exactly. And it's almost like archetypes, you know, you're in these such heightened realms, but you have to constantly ground it and make it honest and true.
Right.
And domesticate it. You know, you have to basically domesticate the cosmic.
Yeah.
Which to me is something I love to do.
Because you got to really believe that, like, Linda Blair is possessed by the devil.
You got to really believe it. And if you don't, it's terrible.
Right.
But if you do, it's awesome.
Does this make you the coolest mom now that you're in the Marvel universe?
Yes, for about 5 minutes. But yes, I'm going to hold on to it while it's happening.
He is a teenager, so it goes back and forth.
That's right. You know, it's funny because someone asked me, like, is obviously my son's more excited about me playing a Marvel character than the president. And at first I said, absolutely. But then I was like, you know what? Like, my son is one of those kids that was registering people to vote, has been out in the street, you know, especially, like, he's engaged. So I don't know.
When did you guys film this? Because I imagine it wasn't shut down by the pandemic.
It wasn't. We like squeaked in right under the wire. We stopped filming on March 15th, I think, was the day that I flew. I wrapped, I went straight to the airport and flew home. Yeah. And we were in Vancouver filming for about 7 months. Yeah.
What was the filming like? How does the filming experience for this compare to like the other TV stuff that you've done, like the Homeland stuff and all that?
It's a little bit different.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different. I mean, I play a demon. I mean, yes, my character is the mother, but I'm mother. I'm this crazy demon woman, and I'm basically in hospital scrubs and demonic wear and hair. So I didn't have to worry about how many donuts I had at the craft service table. So that was lovely. No fitted suits, no like coiffed hair.
right.
But also like another cool thing about this show is it was all really practical. Like if we're in a room of fire, we were standing in fire. If you see me running up the walls, I'm in a harness running up the walls. Totally. I did a ton of stunts, and that was a blast. I mean, it's funny because you brought up my stage work with Ivo Van Hove.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's similar.
Ivo was always like, it's a little similar. Working with Ivo is a little like working in the Marvel universe because, it's all this extreme stuff. And one of the things, like I remember in Hedda Gabler, he wanted me to like take a running start across the stage and try to run up the wall and like fall back down and then do it again and again. And I would do it like 10 times. And I was always bruised and like a mess during that show. But this is sort of similar, except this time I'm in a harness and I can fly.
Right. Which one was it where you had, was it tomato juice that you had to dump on yourself in one of them?
Did I what?
Was it like tomato juice or something that you had to dump on yourself?
No, John Douglas Thompson spit it in my mouth.
Right, yeah. As a Quaker, when you were starting out as an actor, did you ever imagine that you'd be like the stunt actor?
I've weirdly, as the kind of career that I've had, I've weirdly gotten opportunities to do intense stunt work. I did this Bourne movie, and they trained me for a month to use weapons and like to do tactical fighting. And I mean, who knew? And I never expected that I would be flying and climbing on ceilings, but I love it. It's fantastic. It's really fun.
And like screaming alongside Glenda Jackson.
Exactly.
What what was most fun about this filming experience? Like, do you love doing the stunts, or are you like a real grounded actor and that just adds to your performance?
I love doing anything new. I love when people ask me what I don't know how to do. I love when someone says, can you do this? And I'm like, sure. And I take a flying leap at it. I love that. So this was a world that I had never entered before. And it was incredibly fun. And, at this stage in my life, it's just better and better because the longer I stick around, the more they ask me to do. Right. And it's great.
How do you develop, and this is going to be a terrible question because I'm sure there's no answer to it, but like, how do you develop that level of fearlessness as an actor? Or is it just like doing it over and over?
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
I think I sort of started that way. I don't think I've ever been really afraid of, because look, I mean, I think one of the things that I have going for me is I am willing. Yeah. I am perpetually willing, and I believe in directors. So if they ask me to do something, my first response is always yes. I've never understood an actor that's like, I don't think my character would do that. That makes no sense. Right. Because in life, in the world, like, we don't fucking know what the day is going to present us, and we just go. Yeah. And I always feel that when I'm working is like, I just go. So if someone says go left, I go left. If someone says climb the wall, I climb the wall. And then I see what that is. And we go from there, so I will try anything.
It's funny to look at your resume and see like your theater stuff is like it's like filled with so many classics, but like new, like radical interpretations of classics. And then when you're doing film and TV stuff, you're doing stuff like this, which is like so cool.
I know it is. It's funny. I had sort of an era. I had a run of being very intense political women. Yeah. Which was it was so interesting to people like you who know my stage work to suddenly be so contained and sort of have so much gravitas. It was a new phase, but this is definitely taking the lid off that box. So that's fun.
I want to talk about News of the World, which is a Western that is supposed to be released on Christmas, but we'll see.
Yes, that's the plan. I think, like, all things, everything's a little liquid right now, considering the state we're in. But yeah, it's a film that Paul Greengrass directed with Tom Hanks, and it was an incredible experience. It was cool because we actually were filming it in Santa Fe while I was doing Helstrom in Vancouver. So I was flying between countries and flying between worlds. Yeah. And they are polar opposite worlds, because News of the World is set in the South just after the Civil War. And Helstrom was, set in Oregon, present day, with demons and,
What was it that interested you about News of the World?
Well, I will do anything that Paul Greengrass asks me to do, ever, forever, anytime, anywhere, because he's unbelievable and his films are amazing. And he's just the greatest.
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks, didn't keep me from saying, I mean, it was an amazing opportunity to work with Mr. Hanks. He's everything that everybody says. He's the most wonderful. He's, totally professional, totally charming, treats everyone equally, as it should be. But, when you have such a big superstar, you don't always expect it.
Yeah.
But he is so lovely and so good that it was an absolute pleasure.
I feel like he likes to think of himself as, I don't know him, I've never really interacted with him beyond when he was doing Lucky Guy here years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like he likes to think of himself as like a theater guy, like a team player. Like, he strikes me as someone who likes to seem like a team player.
Absolutely. He is one among many. He is definitely an ensemble man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He is not a movie star. He is so humble and just lovely and just so good. And he does that. It is so cool, because I always appreciate, because how I work is I come in fully loaded. I come in ready to shoot, ready to rehearse, whatever the task at hand is. I'm off book. I'm ready to go. I've done all of my work before I arrive. And when I meet others that work that way, I love it so much. I appreciate it so much, because then we can begin and we can start making something together. It's not about me finding my process or them finding their, it's about us making something together. Right. And he's 100% that way, which was awesome.
Was King Lear the last theater thing that you've done here in New York?
It was. Yep.
Was that like one of the more grueling things that you've ever done?
It absolutely was. I mean, it's 4 hours.
Right. And Sam doesn't cut anything.
Sam doesn't cut anything. Sam adds.
Yeah.
Sam adds extra stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a heavy lift. It was intense. I'm incredibly grateful that I was a part of it and that we did it. And it was really hard.
Is it the sort of thing where, like, all of you guys are commiserating about how hard it is, and then you see Glenda Jackson just trudge in?
Oh my God. Every freaking day. Every day. I'd be like, I'm really tired. And there's Glenda, having a cigarette on the back steps, like hopping.
Fire escape. And then doing 8 hours of King Lear a day.
Of King Lear. Like, unbelievable. And, before the fourth act, we'd sit backstage and we'd always have we'd catch up on the news of the day, what was happening in the world. And we'd chat. And then she'd go on and like hop on stage and do that incredible scene.
Yeah.
With, so it was, she is a phenomenon. She's a phenomenon.
I can't get over the fact you guys did matinees. Like, you guys did 2 shows a day, right?
Yes, we did. We sure did. Glenda could have changed that.
Yeah.
We're all like, Glenda, you don't need to. And she's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
of course we do.
And then she'd go out, smoke a pack of cigarettes, and come back in.
Yep. Do her yoga.
I remember when she was doing 3 Tall Women, I'd walk by the Golden Theater, and every time I walk by, if it was noon or sitting on a fire hydrant smoking, and it's like, how are you able to have the capacity to do this?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Was she cool? Was it amazing to watch her?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, yes.
Yeah,
she is. She was one of the reasons I do what I do.
Yeah,
and then to share the stage with her every night. No, it was like, it was almost holy. It was a phenomenal opportunity to experience her, and life-changing, and absolutely, she is the one that we all follow.
Yeah. I thought it was really ballsy of them to do a 4-hour King Lear on Broadway. Whether or not I know the reviews were mixed, and I know it didn't run very long, but the fact that you're doing a 4-hour King Lear, a 4-hour King Lear on Broadway.
That's right.
That takes some
hell yes.
Everybody.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And you know what? And everyone fully participated. You know what I mean? We all just went for it.
Yeah.
No one held back. No one marked through it. And it was really controversial, and everyone leaned into it and just showed up. And a lot of it was because she was our captain, and we weren't going to let her down, and she was going for it. So,
and if she's willing to do 4 hours of theater,
that's right.
Do twice. You can't know.
Yep. That's right.
What are you working on now? I know Bill Kemp, your husband, your partner, is doing a public theater audio production. Yeah.
Shipwreck is coming out, and he's doing a lot of voiceover. He does, he's the voice of the NHL, and he does Forensic Files. So we have a sound studio here. I am actually going to go back to film soon, which will be interesting. Yeah, I'm going back to do some SVU, which will be really interesting because they've been up and running for a little while, and it seems like all is well on that set. So I'm going to go join them a little bit. I am working with Robert O'Hara on something that I can't really
the coolest guy
divulge, but he is the coolest guy, and it's been so fascinating having a theatrical relationship, a new theater collaborator sort of unfold online.
Have you never worked with him in person?
I've never worked with him, no. And Jim Nicola, who's the artistic director of New York Theater Workshop, who's been sort of my theatrical godfather my whole career. He has made these introductions for me of collaborators over the course of my career and sort of steered me. Because he has amazing taste, and I trust him completely, and I'm so grateful to have him in my life. And so I was, saying I want a new collaborator. I haven't found someone to dig in with, and I'm always gone. I'm always on sets,
right?
So I don't see a lot. I miss a lot, and I'm not in rooms a lot. And he was like, I think I know who you should start talking with. So anyway, he connected us, and we just have not stopped talking since we connected.
Because he's another one who does the fearless thing really well. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw Slave Play, but it was see Slave Play to know.
Oh yeah, but also Booty Candy. I mean, come on,
The fact that Booty Candy, the first act of Booty Candy ends with a talkback at a theater that makes fun of talkbacks at theater. And then Barbecue, which I think is one of the theater pieces I've ever seen. The more I think about that play.
Yep. And you do keep thinking about that play. Yeah. It does not leave. It just stays. Yeah, no, it's such a privilege. It's an incredible privilege to get to be talking with him.
Yeah,
because he's awesome, and hopefully when we get to the other side of the great pause and we can get together in rooms and watch theater together, which will come, and when it comes, it will be a great celebration, and hopefully it will involve this project of Robert's in mind.
Elizabeth, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Great to see you. Stay safe.
You too. Best wishes for everybody. And Helstrom on Hulu starting today.
And vote.
And vote. Oh, God. Please.
Please vote.
Be well.
You too, man. You too.